So, what I want to do here is I want to take my topic, that's probably still a broad topic, and I want to narrow it down into more specific research questions. And so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my topic, which for me, the avenue that I want to run is the idea of becoming a leader. So if you want to take your topic and put it in the center of your paper, so it's there. Don't write down what I have, write down what your topic is. Maybe it's teens as leaders. Maybe it's gender roles and leadership. Maybe it's the idea of quiet people being leaders. Yeah. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to come from the packet. So your topic goes here. Then, what tends to work for me before I just start to generate research questions is to take everything I know about the topic, everything I think I might know, and everything that I might want to know, and to throw it down on paper. So if you could just put your pencils down, this is going to take like 7 minutes. I'm going to walk you through what this would look like for me, and then I'm going to cut you loose to do this yourselves. Okay? So the first place my thinking goes when I think about becoming a leader is the idea of can anyone or even who can be a leader? And then in that I kind of think about like the introvert who do we typically think of in terms of leaders between introverts and extroverts? We often think of extroverts as leaders, but do you know the difference between introverts and extroverts?
No.
Introvert is like you think to yourself. Extrovert is like wow.
I'm an extrovert.
Yeah, you would be an extrovert. I'm an introvert. Here's something I heard once that helped me clarify the difference is it's where you find your energy. So like if you're a person who you after being in a big group of people gets lots of energy, like that makes you really excited, you get a lot of energy from that, you would probably be an extrovert. If you're somebody that after you're in a large group of people, like even if you like being in a large group of people, you need like to go into your room for a couple of hours to like decompress, you would probably be an introvert. Sometimes we say introvert. I get in my soapbox because I happen to be an introvert, and sometimes people think that introverts like don't like people. We do. We just need our time away to rejuvenate, to get our energy back. It's the difference. Introverts are not hermits who don't like people. So, I think this would be interesting. Introverts versus extroverts. What does that look like in terms of leadership? Then I could also fit into this kids and teenagers. Now, this might have been your center bubble, kids and teens being leaders. That's okay. I also think that question that we talked about earlier, we did it backwards, but nature versus nurture, I think would be interesting. Are you born a leader, or does leadership just do you have to learn how to be a leader? Miss Webster brought up something interesting in my second period. Mm-hmm.
I love Miss Webster.
She brought up this idea of accidental leaders, which she had to clarify what she meant, and what she was talking about were people who didn't mean to be leaders. So she brought up the idea of the soul surfer. Do you know about the soul surfer?
The movie?
Yeah, what happened to the soul surfer?
She got her arm bitten off
No,
by
I
a
think
shark.
she planned that.
I don't think she planned that. She
Why
got her.
would you go in the-
So she got her arm bitten off by a shark, but then what did she do?
She refused to get a new one put on.
No, she didn't get out of the
She wrote a book. She kept surfing. So she sort of like became a leader through this experience that happened to her and influenced far more people than she probably would have otherwise. So I think that's kind of an interesting outlet too. I could also take this another direction, and I could look at qualities. So then I think about all the resources that we've been exposed to. So I think about solitude and leadership, and I mean, you could write a good argument on solitude. You could probably find a bunch of different sources that reference the same topic. I think about another quality that he referenced a lot, which was to be innovative. And what does it mean to be innovative? Huh?
To create.
To be original, to create. If you're innovative, you come up with new things, new ways of doing things that have always been done. So innovative. When I think about Moses, that video we watched yesterday, this word stands out to me, if you've seen it, as does this word. Taking initiative. And so then this sparks a new thought for me in terms of this question, which would be like, what qualities do employers look for? And then that makes me think, like, do qualities differ depending on the job? So, like, do doctors look for one thing that differs from what business owners look for? And do coaches want one type of leader as opposed to parents? I don't know. Like, how does that differ depending on the job that you're going for? So now all of a sudden I have all of these thoughts around one single topic. But if I take this and I go and I sit down in front of my computer tomorrow to research, this is too much. Like, this is far too much for me to try and navigate through. So what I have to do is I have to kind of narrow it down into themes and questions that go together so that my research has more of a focus. So when we talk about research questions, what makes a good research question? It has to be specific. What do you mean?
Broad but specific.
Yeah.
It has to be a good balance of broad and specific. It's very.
You have to be able to find information on it, but you have to. It can't be too general.
So it has to be specific enough that we can find answers, but broad enough, I would say, that you can find multiple sources to synthesize information. So I want to give you an example of what I would say is a not so good research question as opposed to a better research question. Okay? Let's say you're researching the military. How many of you chose that as a topic? Something to do with the military.
I knew Quentin would.
Did you?
Yeah.
I knew Josiah would.
So did I.
Let's say you wanted to look at leadership within the military, and your research question said, what are the different ranks of leaders in the military? Good research question, not so good research question.
Not so good. Because I do know
It's
it.
like one answer.
Why not, Quentin?
Because it's really easy. You just see like private, whatever. You just see the ranks.
Yeah, I
You
type
wouldn't
that
find
in.
Much information.
I find one answer. Am I going to find any
Yeah.
different answers anywhere? No.
Well, I mean different branches. That's it.
Yeah, Tasha said it can't be an answer that's a fact. It has to be an answer that's an opinion. So if I took that same question and said instead, how do you rise through the ranks of military leadership? Like, how